have King, Rasen Shuriken, Depression, So Bad, Very Bad, and Pain Sunday. And on the side of Infamous, we have Spaghetti, SNK, QC, Uni, and Clowny. I'm really looking forward to what they are going to bring to the table. Just quickly going through the point standings of both of these teams. Like Minimizer just said, Infamous is at the top of the charts with 16 points, and then we have Silverboom just down under at 0 points. Disregarding the point standings of each team, we do actually have seen underdogs like that of Popeyes actually coming up and beating Infamous before. So I'm not surprised if Silverboom can actually take 1 or 2 games, hopefully 2 games against Infamous, but then that is not very likely. But anyways, draft is ready, so please do the honors.
Without further ado, we are going to go into the draft. Silverboom, they definitely know that they're going against the top team and that they're not as high up on the leaderboard, but they're probably thinking that can only be a good thing for them. There's not much expectation at all. They're not going to be expected to win this, so they're probably thinking that Infamous have got all the pressure. We can just play our hearts out, play as well as we can, and if it's enough, then we're gonna win. But they're not under much pressure to be expected to win this game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just going into this draft, we have almost an instant ban on that Catherine. I mean, and for Infamous aside, I'm not surprised if Sky is banned out, but then because Catherine is banned out, I doubt Infamous will actually just go into the draft with Sky being banned out. So Infamous is actually taking their time, just figuring out what comp they want to play going into this match against Silverboom.
I would expect to see Lyra being banned, or maybe even Sky, because they do like to ban Sky. But no, they're going to go Kestrel. That's probably because Catherine was banned. They're thinking Catherine's the main counter to Kestrel, so they probably want to have picked it up. So instead of picking Kestrel themselves or letting Kestrel get first picked, they're just going to ban it away, not going to worry about trying to counter it. And so we're going to pick the Baron. That's risky. Kestrel not available to counter it, but there's lots of Baron counters still available. I would like to see Idris first picked. Idris extremely good at countering Baron, or they might go for the Black Feather and Crystal Power Ringo composition we saw before. It didn't quite work out last week, but it's a very good composition to try and counter that Baron. And they are going to pick the Idris. It's very smart. You don't want to let that get banned away in the second phase. And I reckon they're going to try and pick up either Grace or Lyra to peel that Idris through, because he's unlikely to be able to beat a Baron in a 1v1 without having one of those healers available. And Arden's probably going to be banned away because Arden and Baron work so well together.
Yeah, but we saw a huge showing coming up from the side of Infamous going up against Team Elite 8 yesterday, and Elite 8 actually did went for the Baron pickup as the first pickup, and then Infamous just steamrolled over them. One thing about checking and taking out Baron as a first pick is that you must understand your comp. You work best in a late game after your Sorrow Blade into your Tension Bow rather than early game, and then you have to understand as well that Infamous can actually and will actually capitalize on that major weakness of your team. So we actually do see a Lara being banned out and an Ataka. I'm not surprised if Infamous actually do go for the Grace pickup right now.
Yeah, Grace is just a combination that works really well, and it will be picked up. It's a smart decision. The Taka ban is because with Lyra not being available to use her Bright Bulwark to stop Taka, Taka is a great counter to Baron anyway, and so without that extra CC to try and stop him, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. I've got a feeling Batiste might be picked up here. Batiste really strong, either as Crystal to play with Baron or as a captain to provide the CC to stop Idris diving in. And they might actually go for Glaive as well. Glaive good at afterburning Idris away, and if he goes either captain or utility, maybe Stormcloud Aftershock Glaive, then Idris will have a hard time staying on top of Baron, because that's really their whole comp. Yeah, they're going to pick Batiste instead. We still don't know whether that's going to be Crystal or utility, or Crystal or Roam. We'll probably figure out the next pick. I think, as I said, Glaive could work, but I'd like to see someone like an Alpha to stop that going over to combine with the Idris.
Yeah, I'm not surprised if they do actually pick up an alpha. We saw a huge showing coming up from Angry You Die on that alpha going up against a Baron pickup in the earlier matches. So against Impunity. So I'm not surprised if alpha is getting picked up here. There is one thing though. Oh, they actually go for that Sky. I don't think Sky is a rather meta pickup, or rather not meta pickup, but rather an intelligent pickup going against an Idris, because we know that Idris kind of checks skies because of the mobility coming up from that of Idris. And of course, you know, for Sky, you do damage over time. So then you have Grace who can just heal up and then provide a lot of CCs if Idris plays around this Grace.
Celeste to be a good pickup here. They want to, because that can outpoke the Batiste and outpoke the Sky reasonably easily. Sky with only a full blast, Celeste with healer this much more often. And they're going to go Scarf instead. Scarf is very similar to Celeste, can poke out the Sky much better than Sky can poke her. And the advantage of a Scarf is instead of having a stun on Baron, you have Scoop Slow, and your Dragon's Breath is very similar to the Celeste Solar Storm, but is much stronger in the team fight. Celeste can finish off kills with the Solar Storm or try and engage, but Scarf can just burst someone down from almost half health to nothing if she gets a full bulk of mistacks and then lands that Dragon's Breath.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably more of a comfort pick. They prefer playing Scarf as to playing Celeste, which is why you pick them. They're very similar heroes.
Yeah, but one thing about picking up Scarf is that both Idris and Scarf, they synergize us really well together, especially up against this Baron. Only reason I say that, because we saw in the previous game when there is Artisan going up against Elite 8, that Scarf did really well in the early game as compared to the Celeste pickup. So, you know, there is one thing about Infamous is that they like their early game pressure. They try to push as much objective as much as possible. Like we saw in yesterday's game, they actually ended one game. They ended both games pre-Kraken. So I understand the Scarf pickup. It is just to, you know, just increase the early game pressure onto this Baron, because Baron, after all, is a late game hero. And also because of this Batiste. Batiste in the early game is not that tanky. Just before he built up all his tank item, especially that of Fountain into a Crucible. So that Scarf pickup, I think, works better than if they actually go for that Celeste. But both pickups are equally fine as well. There is one thing I must note on the side of Team Silverboom is that Sky. I don't think Sky going up against Scarf in jungle, or rather, and that is why they pick up that Scarf. If they had they actually pick up that Celeste, then Sky might actually have an easier time just going through their jungle as well. So with Scarf being picked up, Batiste's Ordain wouldn't work as well from my point of view, because Scarf generally is a mage, and then you are just going to stand still and not engage and just poke down the enemies before you actually hard engage. Granted, Batiste is a good counter against Grace because of Benediction on Grace, but then if they are fighting and they are choosing to fight around this Grace, then Holy Nova will be the priority skill to overdrive after all. So we are hopping into the foes, and we have two awesome casters casting for this game, this final match between Silverboom and Infamous, and they are Ashurai and Riku. Take it away.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Luxuria and Millimeter. So we'll take it on from here. It's going to be, well, pretty interesting matchup. Silverboom, if I'm not mistaken, 0 points in our standing for the split, and they're going to be going against the top dogs. You know, they're barking on the tippy toe of that mountain. It's going to be Infamous.
I thought you were going to say, I'm going to do a tree reference there.
I have no idea.
Anyway, again, just as you mentioned, Silverboom not looking too well in this tournament so far, and they're going to be facing off the top team here for our Vainglory summer season. But again, they take a lot out of this tournament. You can't cross them out just yet. Upsets can happen. And so, I mean, this is a best of 3 series. If they haven't warmed up yet against Infamous, there is still game number 2, just as what we witnessed from Artisan versus Elite 8, where they've learned the ropes from the very first game. Artisan holding off really well on their second. So it might be the same case here for our 4th match of the day. Technically third.
Technically third. I like the rotation coming in from SNK. Just a standard look into the middle of the jungle so that nobody from Silverboom can go for the invade. But you can see, look at that series strike, or rather the dash in front of the Sky is dealing quite a bit of damage onto Spaghetti as well as SNK. They gotta be a bit careful. There is this shield from, I believe, the Benediction. Although, again, it's gonna go in a little bit here, absorb a little bit more XP. And wow, Silver Boom actually getting quite a bit of good damage onto Infamous. Although there's gonna be a little bit of a tussle here onto the jungle. It's gonna be so bad, very bad. 2v1 situation, goes in with the Suri Strike, deals a good chunk of damage, activates the forward barrage, but he is left to dry here by his teammate. He got in a little too over aggressive, and he will pay the ultimate price with his life. First blood connected here by Infamous, but it's gonna be immediately reprimanded by Silver Boom as they get themselves that one SNK on the Grace.
Yeah, definitely. At least they managed to make it a 1-1, taking the Grace to the grave there, alongside with their fallen member. But that was well played. Silver Boom, what do you call this? Managed to take something out of that and not make it a full-on advantage.
Okay, you gotta be careful on that one. Does have an immediate kill, although he was saw at very low sliver of HP. The body box coming in from SNK just to make sure that his comrade will not go down. And yeah, you were saying?
Yeah, there's a lot of shields and damage reductions coming from the side of Infamous, and they can take advantage of that small time frame that they have, as Silver Boom has a lot of bursty skill sets or bursty kits, especially from the side of Baron. So that's something in that small time frame they can immediately do something or try to do a counterattack. But once that time passes, then perhaps Infamous might be in a little bit of trouble, as once level 6 comes, especially with the intervention from the side of Grace is a channeling skill, and it might be a little bit too late once Silver Boom just dishes out all the damage there and baits out a couple of skills. So Silver Boom can take advantage of that sort of situation whenever they enter into these prolonged team fights.
Yeah, we'll see though, but then you gotta remember, one good setup from the Holy Nova and it's all over. Though there is that possibility, like you said, there is a lot of disengage as well as long range poke coming in from Silver Boom. You got yourself that death from above as well. Oh wait, hold on, I thought SNK gonna go aggressive. He does have the Holy Nova setting it up nicely here for Infamous, but still the forward barrage from Sky and Uni. Gotta run away. He will be able to escape from the clutches of death. I think he's gonna want to wrap around, maybe get this Trent and get back into the fight. SNK chasing down onto Pain Sandy, gets the one shot down, and Uni gonna be spying out his opponent. He wants to go aggressive onto So Bad, very bad. But will he get the last hit onto this Trent and may have enough aggression to push in for the fight? No, So Bad, very bad will get that Trent.
Man, that was really I think the mindset of Infamous there, as they have already lost a member from their side, they wanted to take a consolation prize, maybe take someone down with them. But then it was a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of Silver Boom. So well played, playing their comps right with their strength. They know that they have a ton of damage so far.
Whoa.
And the combo that Pain Sunday can do on the Batiste is that whenever Grace enters into the fray, probably maybe Grace or maybe Spaghetti with the Idris, then you just cast your Jane, make them hesitate a little bit, not letting them advance through their whatever plans they have in mind with that sort of aggressive play that they have once they charge in. So Infamous, again, we've seen this from Elite 8 where it's okay to give a few kills here and there, but Silver Boom looking really good during the early phase of the game, playing their strengths right, especially their very damage-heavy comp plus poke. So with their defensive skills, again, this is pre-level 6 aggression, so anything can change. What's Infamous?
Spaghetti again, getting a little bit too comfy under his own turret. They did not respect the damage from that Sky as well as the Baron, and he pays the ultimate price. There is at least Uni here from the sidelines, puts down the goop, but well, Silver Boom are not going to be touching it. They're slowly but surely chipping down onto this third, and it will collapse. There is Pain Sandy, I believe, on a forward position. Batiste, and one after the other, Infamous, are getting manhandled here. The 16 standing team, or 16-point standing team, is getting a little bit bombarded. Death from above will not connect onto Uni there, but he will get rooted in. Still, Silver Boom will not go for the collapse. There is going to be at least from the sidelines this Idris. And my goodness, if you can prepare the French fry, we got a lot of salt incoming from, well, Infamous right here.
Man, you are making me hungry, Asura. Meanwhile, Uni here on the Scarf just chasing down Lei Qiang, and meanwhile he just bumps into Ping Sundi. You saw how the sustain coming from the Batiste just is really annoying that they can't. At this point in time, the damage coming from the side of Infamous is just not enough to burst the Batiste down whenever he does these in-your-face type of plays, just trying to disrupt you, as Baron lands the hurt from the backline, being safe. And this is just Infamous just waiting to just pump up their damage, pump up their items for when they are able to strike. And because of that, Silver Boom is taking advantage of this weakness. You can see that every time they make these sort of prolonged team fights, it's like two members fall, and then meanwhile Silver Boom just loses just one casualty.
Yeah, you can see Spaghetti actually going for the light armor, so he didn't actually fully commit into his damage items. Maybe that's the reason why somehow Infamous are lacking a little bit of, in that damage department. But
yeah,
now it's gonna be Silver Boom once again with the aggressive stance here. They're gonna be pushing forward and try and catch off Infamous.
Yeah, take note that there's still the ult from. Okay, we're gonna see a team fight.
Oh,
here.
look at the damage! Death from above just goes in aggressive onto Infamous, but still, Silver Boom back away. They find Lei King in the midst of it all, and you get that poor Baron dropped to the ground still. Infamous has ways to go, and they haven't stopped just yet. They spawn out the Batiste right here. Good connection from the Benediction as well as that Holy Nova. And will SNK actually go for the chase? I think that's going to be a no just for now. But oh my goodness, Ford Barrage chips it down and take it home. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
Nicely done, Stun. Just the perfect setup for Sky, and that is just that is Infamous, like super aggressive, finding the kills, knowing the fact that Grace has already reached level 6, so Divine Intervention already available, but this actually equates to a gold miner control coming on the side of Silver Boom, plus more kill, more gold, 2k gold lead as well for Silver Boom. So they're finding their momentum here, and all they can do is keep capitalizing on the fact that they still are not ramping up so far for Infamous side, plus these little bits of mistakes coming from Infamous, their overaggression are easily getting punished by the Ordain coming from Pain Sunday, which means that it's a perfect setup for Death from Above or the forward barrage coming from the side of Sky.
The damage from the chakram on Spaghetti, and you can see it hurts a lot. I believe this is a WP weapon power Idris build. And Uni, doesn't like being called Uni. He wants to be called Uni. And it looks like Infamous is going to go for a siege here onto the second turret. While here in the sidelines, there is at least a setup. Oh, the charge in from SNK. There's going to be at least the choke with the usage of that Death from Above, but it will not actually connect. The usage from the ultimate as well as for SNK. He will give a lot of HP back to burst heal from this Grace, keeping Infamous alive. For in the meantime, two-man Ordained though from the Batiste. The setup is real, but SNK goes aggressive. He's trying to give a little bit of space here from Infamous so that they can actually look for a fight. And there's a huge Dragon Fire just from this Scarf, just simmering them down and flambeing them in order for Infamous to actually win a team fight and get that ace.
Man, they were just there waiting for the level 8 spike, and there you go, Infamous just steamrolling. Just suddenly it felt like, Infamous was just sleeping. They just woke them up. They woke up the beast in your terms, and then that is amazing from Infamous. They played that very well. And meanwhile, let's see if they're gonna be.
Did they play that very well as they stick a little bit too close to the sun and got burned? Silver Boom takes 2-0, although they did lose that turret. Still, I believe a little bit of a 300 gold advantage, yeah?
Yeah, little 300 gold advantage. Infamous picking up their spikes again. Just as I mentioned, when they resell 10, then they can't, at level 8 rather, they're pretty much confident in actually going for the aggression and baiting out Silver Boom to try and counterattack. I mean, it is very tempting, knowing the fact that the divine intervention has already been used. There's not much else to work with, but then again, it was the dragon's breath. The dragon breath. Oh, hold on,
A
thought.
charge in once again from the Grace. Nice setup there from Infamous. Although they gotta be careful because this guy has been dealing a good chunk of damage. Spaghetti can look to actually dash back and blink into the fight. Get the finalizing shot onto Pain Sandy. Forward barrage from So Bad, Very Bad. He's onto the sidelines. They might get flanked right here. Will they be able to escape? That's the question. No, So Bad, Very Bad is in his own jungle, and he is being chased down. Ring around the rosy here by Infamous. 1v1 situation. It is, well, the lone Texas Ranger against his opponent from downtown. Silver Boom goes for the flank maneuver, and Infamous kind of dipped too heavily into that one, and they will pay the price with their lives. Okay, try right away. And we the scout have to spot him as well, but does he have enough to be able to get away? I think he will, but still, Infamous thinking that they would have gotten that, and they got, well, literally baited.
Wow, I feel like it was really interesting to see their positioning as, okay, hold the thought, they are going to secure the gold miner. Actually got a lot out of that. They got 2 kills. I mean, the positioning was correct. They had the right idea because they saw that the sky was a bit isolated, but they just forgot about the Baron that could immediately obliterate the Scarf. So any misposition whatsoever can cost them the team fight or the sneaky play that they were looking for here. Coming from the side of Infamous, they still have the necessary strength to actually overwhelm Silver Boom, but the problem was the positioning is just
Not there.
Yeah, was not well thought there. They miscalculated and they had to suffer the consequences. But still, it does not stop them from being confident, from doing this kind of aggression wherein they're going to keep sieging, going to keep poking, using Uni here. So we'll see how this is going to pan out as they land in the hurt.
Nice connections onto the poke, and they spawn out Lei King. Although at the same time, you gotta be careful because once again, they might fly a little bit too close to the sun, but Spaghetti just dishing out the sauce, boss. The damage from this Idris is just enough. Look at that double kill as well. There's gonna be a defensive fearsome shade, but they can't actually capitalize onto that one, and that's gonna be a 2-0 for, I believe, Infamous. And wow, from what looked like to have been a pretty good start from Silver Boom, immediately fell out of their hands.
Yeah, it just spiraled out of control after Infamous has reached their spikes. They're so confident, even though they can give away like 2 kills, maybe an objective around the jungle. It's gonna be okay because they know that they can play around with their strengths now as they have reached their spike. So meanwhile, for the side of Idris, he can just really just keep diving because he trusts, SNK with a divine intervention just in case he gets a little bit too deep into the base of Silver Boom. So Silver Boom cannot punish these sort of situations anymore, especially if they cannot or do not have they have used all their kits in canceling the channels coming from the side of Grace. So it's just the fearsome shade already being used. Okay.
God, look at the damage coming in from just this Idris. The follow-up was there, but he just set it all up. The Kraken is awakened, and this could not have been a worse time for the sky to have died here for Silver Boom. And this Kraken, unless Pain Sandy or Lei King have something to say about it, get finalizing shot, steal the Kraken so that it will push for them. Silver Boom are in a very detrimental or bad spot.
Yeah, they do have the burst coming from the Baron, but it's just that they're using it as a bait.
And great bait, mate. They go aggressive. There was a fearsome shade, but it really didn't have too much impact at all. Pain Sandy gonna be chased upon here by Spaghetti, and he is doing a 2v1 situation. He is a man on a mission, and his mission is accomplished. And that'll be the Kraken taken, literally, or rather, without too much contention there from Silver Boom.
Yeah, Silver Boom had a great idea in mind during the early game, of course. They want to overwhelm the side of Infamous there, maybe try to snowball a little, maybe make it in time before they reach their spikes. But then again, it was the only play that they could do during the taking of the Kraken here from Infamous, as they wished to have prolonged the game. But right now, it's them versus the
Oh
Kraken.
no, you can see that Spaghetti wanted to go in. Ordain will actually stop Infamous's push just for a little bit. But here it is. No fearsome shade coming out from Pain Sanity. It is on a 10-second cooldown. And all hell has broken loose. Infamous with the Kraken pushing it onto the Vayne, and slowly but surely they're chipping them down. Look at Spaghetti from the backline just doing the damage, and Uni isn't even being touched right now, and that is gonna be it. We really thought Silver Boom could have gotten quite a bit of a huge impact here, but not in the face of Infamous.
Not in face, indeed. Infamous really are confident with their draft. It's just like, it kind of reminds me of Elite 8 whenever you see them play. So it's those teams that you can see that really stand out from the rest of the tournament, where it's okay to give a few kills here and there as long as we are able to execute our draft right, wait for mid game, get our items, and then that's the time we can go aggressive.
Yeah, you gotta give lots of credits for Spaghetti there, because he just wrecked face. Like, he was able to slip through in terms of like the early game and just become that assassin. I think that Infamous needed. So we're gonna be passing on to our analysts. So guys, take it away.
Thank you for that. That was just well played from Infamous again. It was really Idris just running the show there. He just, once you get towards mid-late game on Idris, you counter Baron quite well. And against the Sky, if Sky gets ever so slightly out of position, if Sky cannot basic attack you and Sui Strike away immediately, you're going to burst it down to nothing, and then you can use your Shimmer Strike, be on top of her, get some damage off, get another basic, and you're going to easily take the kill onto Sky. So it was well drafted from Infamous, but just expertly played, mainly on the Idris there.
Yep, I must agree with you that Spaghetti on this Idris played really, really well. But I, from the start, said that I really, really like the draft coming out from the side of Silverboom, only because they have that early game, against or rather the Sky at least has the early game against other team, Infamous at least, and they're just gonna help Baron build up into the late game, and they did really well in the early game. Like Uni on the Scarf and even Spaghetti was struggling quite a lot for the early game, and that is how the side of Boom, Silver Boom actually got their 11 kills. It was really much a lot of the kills actually came out in the early game, and of course there was one fight that happened around the Crystal Sentry that Uni actually got out of position for a little, and that was when Silverboom got, the above, got a one up, and then tried, to push on. But then the problem and the thing that separates these two teams is that one knows how to capitalize on kills, and of course capitalizes on kills and weaknesses, whereas the side of Silverboom, almost as if they do not know how to end this game. They had a really good early game, and they actually pushed Baron from the early game, for the early game, into the late game or the mid-late game with the pickup on Sorrow Blade and Tension Bow really, really early in the game. But the problem is that they just did not know how to work their draft as well as that of Infamous. And then when we reached the late game, the side that, the poke coming out from the side of Uni was just way too much for the side of Silverboom to absorb, rather, even for the Batiste. And a lot of times in the late game, there were many fights that, the side of Silverboom might have won, but, Infamous just outplayed them by just staying all three in Ordain and just forcing the fight to be within the Ordain instead of getting out of the Ordain to fight the side of Silverboom. So, well played to the side of Infamous.
Yeah, certainly the poke from Scarf, extremely good, and Idris slipping around that Ordain, so Batiste couldn't apply it on him before. Idris had already picked up a kill. But without further ado, the draft is ready, so we're going to go into the draft.
Well, coming to this draft, I really hope that the side of Silverboom would learn from their mistake and then not go for the immediate Baron pickup. Only reason I say that is because, Baron is a strong hero, but it really relies a lot on your positioning and how you actually get into the late game. Where if
not being countered,
Yeah, if you're not mechanically strong on Baron, and you do not have heroes like that of Arden to help you reposition yourself, hopefully you will not want to play Baron, and hopefully you can just ban Baron out, because you do not want Infamous to get hold of this Baron as well. I mean, we saw Infamous's performance on this Baron yesterday, and in the early game, he was already so insane because it's just pure teamwork coming out from the side of Infamous. So we actually do see Idris banned out from the side of Infamous. I think Infamous might actually want to go for this Baron.
Yeah, Infamous playing so well on Idris in the last game, but they don't want to first pick him because they're worried about just being countered. So Team A generally doesn't get Idris. Idris is almost always picked up by Team B. So they're deciding that we don't want to play against him. Idris is such a strong hero at the moment. He counters like almost all of the weapon power carries that are in the meta at the moment, especially if they're ranged. So the Grace can be banned away as well. So that Idris Grace combination not possible doubly in this game. I don't think Baron would be a smart first pick. I think Infamous know that. They countered it with their Idris. They know there were other counters on the fold that can beat Baron. So I don't think they'll first pick it. It might get banned away in the second round of matches. I think they're probably going to pick up something maybe like a Glaive as a good flex pick, or they're just going to go for the Catherine or the Arden as a captain and just wait to see what the other enemies do. And they're actually going to go Vox. So they know Idris isn't available. The main Vox counter isn't there, but that it does leave Baron, so they must be quite confident that they can beat a Baron even with a Vox.
Yep, I'm not surprised that they know. I mean, there are other counters, barring this Vox being picked up, and then of course Silver Boom will respond with that of Baron, definitely because Baron hard counters Vox in the later game, and Baron just scales so much better. But then jungler wise, and roaming wise, we have Batiste and we have Alpha. If Infamous is going to bring out that comp to counter this Baron, I'm not surprised they would, because we saw the performance of Alpha and that with Batiste into this Baron, and it's just insane. So we have Lyra being banned out. So double healer banned out on the side of Silver Boom.
Yeah, it's a much smarter decision from them this time. Baron does not want to build Poison Shiv. It's not in his kit. He wants to go Solar Blade, Breaking Point, so Solar Blade, Tension Bow, Double Tyrants, or maybe a Tornado Trigger. But Poison Shiv just doesn't really work with him, because if you can land 3 basic attacks to get off Mortal Wounds, you've basically killed them. And so they want to ban away the main healers. Obviously Adagio is left, but Adagio's heal is nowhere near as strong as Grace or Lyra's. And so Catherine is being banned away. They may want to pick up Kestrel. We saw Kestrel being banned in the first game, I think. So a Vox Kestrel comp could come out here. And they're leaving it open. They're going to pick the Arden. Arden really good to pair with Baron to get him out of any tough situations that he might get stuck in because of his low movement speed. But I think Kestrel's likely to be picked up here because they banned away the Catherine, they banned away the counter. They probably want to pick it.
Yeah, it's either the Kestrel being picked up, or we might actually see a Lance, and then completing that comp, we might actually see a Sky. And I'm not surprised if Sky is picked up, because Catherine, although Catherine being banned out, I think Sky is one of those heroes that, if played well, can counter Baron to a certain extent. We are actually seeing Ataka being picked out. And I understand Ataka pickup because it is almost like Sky, in a sense where you can actually reposition yourself very easily. So, and also one more thing for Ataka being picked out is that you can just kite it out of the gauntlet thrown down by Arden.
Yeah, if they're positioned poorly, you can kite over one of the enemies and get out of that without needing a block. Batiste would be okay, wouldn't be great. I think Alpha would be a really smart decision here. Alpha Baron, a comp that if you get towards the big late game, you're going to do really well. They're going to go Kestrel into Taka. That's a massive just skill matchup there. If Kestrel can play this properly, she'll be absolutely fine and will beat Taka. But it's going to be hard, because if Taka gets on top of you and you can't go invisible, you're going to get bursted down. Taka can dodge your Glimmer shots with his Chitin. He can dodge Baron's double shot from his jump jets with his Chitin. And Vox isn't great into Kestrel, but again, if anyone gets on top of Kestrel, she's going to fall. So it's all about that positioning and skill. And I think I do like the draft from Infamous. I think the Taka is really good into Baron, and Kestrel isn't really a Taka counter, so they could have Silverboom could have tried to counter that Taka a little bit better.
Yep, definitely. But then damage-wise, of course, you must give it up to the side of Silverboom. For the late game, when you have Crystal Kestrel and then, of course, a Weapon Baron, the amount of burst coming out from these two heroes, and especially with an Arden that can just trap you in the gauntlet, and then you just, take on the full damage of these two carries, it's insane. But like you said, Taka is a really good counter against that of Baron. It checks Baron really well because of how the Taka's kit, Kaiten Etsuretsu, you can just position yourself so well. And of course, you have Lance in the forefront, just soaking up the damage from that of Baron. Granted, even with a Baron, even if as a Lance, you can't take up a lot of damage from that of Baron. But even then, I see the CCs and a lot of other counters coming out from the side of Infamous, and I must go with you. I favor the team comp coming out from the side of Infamous. But then again, this is really down to execution. We saw the side of Silverboom actually played they draft rather well in that of the early game. They actually put on a lot of pressure, but for a Crystal Castro, the one problem is that you scale so much later into the game as compared to that of a Aftershock in the Storm Crown or Storm Crown in the Aftershock Taka. And of course, with the Lance in the early game, you're so strong because of your Impale and your ganking potential coming up from the side of Infamous. So, honestly, both of these team comps or both of this drafting, both have got their own pros. But definitely, I see more weaknesses coming out from the side of Silverboom because of how late scaling both of their carries are. So I will just continue talking. But just before we jump into the foes, let's just go through the point standings really quickly. So we all know that Infamous is at the top of the charts. We have 16 points on Infamous, and for Elite 8 we have 10 points. Impunity and Artisan share 6 points, and Popeyes 4 points, Enix 1 point, Silverboom and Charles 7 both at 0 points. So if Yep, I heard you. So if Silverboom actually do win this match against Infamous, then they'll definitely get that 1 point, and they'll just even out with the side of Team Enix. So anyways, we are jumping into the foes. So casting the last set, rather, and possibly the last match of the day, we have the amazing Asurai and the gorgeous Riku. Take it away.
Wow. Well, I actually liked it if you called me handsome, but it's also fine. You can call me gorgeous as well. I won't mind. But yeah, so it's gonna be very iffy here because they did say, or rather, both Minimiter and Luxurious had a heavy amount of emphasis in terms of micro skills for Silverboom because their composition heavily relies on positioning. So it's gonna be difficult for them to handle against Infamous, who actually thrive in a lot of setup type of situations, but. Here into the lane, Lei King getting quite a bit of damage already from SNK and Spaghetti.
Yeah, there's a lot of mobility plus DCs that Infamous can work around with, especially if they have the Lance. I mean, especially with Vox's damage plus Taka, they can easily burst the target down once somebody is out of position. Meanwhile, we've got 2 ranged DPS from Silverboom, so as long as position-wise they're A-okay, then it might give a little bit of hesitation for the side of Infamous to actually enter the fight. But then again, there's also Arden for protection, the Vanguard, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough, as the Lance just has really good CC, plus Taka does have the micro skills, as Luxuria mentioned earlier, that they can with the A skill of Taka can immediately dodge a couple of skills and counterattack afterwards.
They're gonna go for recall. He's standard right there as well as Pain Sandy. So I'm really looking forward to see Uni with this Taka, just seeing how he'll be able to position on this one, because maybe that's going to be the point of power here for Infamous, having the assassin to just dive upon either Kestrel, mostly the Kestrel, or even the Baron here, because you can see that during that lane, or at least in that phase, or rather in the lane where Spaghetti took quite a bit of beating from Lei King, as well as the limb shots from the Kestrel, it kind of shows you a little bit of a preview here, how Silverboom do have that damage, they do have the poke, but the question is, again, will they be able to survive enough or to position well enough that they will be able to dish out that poke? Stealth coming out from Uni, he's gonna go for a little bit of that Metal Sword, Solid Gear type of play style, and look at that, Spaghetti able to net himself the first blood. So yeah, blood has been spilled.
Yeah, and Taka was even not around there. farming in the jungle. So that is not the actual threat just yet for the Kestrel. Taka is definitely going to be problematic, extra problematic for the side of Silver Boom, as you know, Spaghetti plus lands. I mean, Vox plus lands combo is already showing signs of being a huge threat. What more if they add Taka into the equation? So again, that was a really good first blood from the side of Infamous. They can definitely capitalize on that, as in terms of like early game damage, especially if they go with the position wise, a Silver Boom can gain that what do you call this, moment.
Okay, so there might be some problem. Oh, they are actually back. Welcome back, Asurai.
Yes, thank you. A little bit of connectivity issues. Thank you, my man. But yeah, so again, this could be the first blood for Infamous, and well, looky here. It's you can really see Glimmer shots really painful coming out from the Kestrel.
Exactly, and Infamous again. They are pretty patient about their composition, but you know they're going to just spike up a little bit later, and that's the time where they can go and do, and be more aggressive and more confident with their plays. I mean, it was peak level 6, it was the level 2 spike. They immediately are able to eliminate one person, because I feel like there's not enough peel for the side of Silver Boom to actually protect the Kestrel, and then the Baron whenever they go. Whenever Infamous dives into the fray, so it's actually pretty scary. But then again, we've got the Vanguard, we've got the Gauntlet later on when they reach their level 6, and I believe Luxuria mentioned how Kestrel. I don't think she can be able to go invisible immediately, so that she can go to the escape.
This is gonna be a fight. Good connections again on the Glimmer shot here by So Bad, Very Bad, or rather, sorry, yeah, actually him, yeah, So Bad, Very Bad. SNK can at least say a little bit of the welcoming party there onto Pain Sandy. Still, no blood just yet has been spilled. It looks like Silver Boom and Infamous will steaming up their hands for the meantime, but Spaghetti gotta be a little bit careful there. It's gonna be the one shot, one kill. Uni has to go diving in a little bit here to provide or alleviate the bit of pressure on the Spaghetti there. And Infamous almost getting caught out. Uni gonna go aggressive, goes in with the dive with the Taka, and Wound on this Baron does have the mobility skill. He will be able to rocket jump away, and Taka, as that happens, immediately goes into the jungle. So no time really wasted here for Infamous.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing about the Taka. You can enter the fight and then immediately go away, disengage or retreat, just so that you can scare them away, or relieve the pressure rather, because it was the box being forced back. That's a temporary 2v3 on the lane, so that means that's more sieging potential for the side of Silver Boom. But because of the aggression coming from the side of Uni, it scared them away, making them not able to get objectives around the map, temporarily paralyzing them, and look for a fight another day. So it's there. Fox is back against Spaghetti with Uni lurking around the corner. No, he already has Exretsu. Compared to the first team fight that we seen earlier, first skirmish that we seen earlier rather. So one shot, one kill, not able to hit.
One smart, but for the meantime, there's still that point where Boom are one ultimate short. Pain Sandy doesn't have. Oh my goodness, the damage is real. They were obliterate. So bad, very bad. Not even the usage of that gauntlet because it's not available here for Silver Boom. And what just happened?
That was an instant slam on the wall impale from the side of SNK. That was just them looking at the perfect opportunity. They took it, they got a lot out of that, and now, whoa!
I thought they aren't done just yet. They get the one that's gonna be the shutdown onto Lei King. Here comes So Bad, Very Bad, and Infamous. Just calm and collected. Ice cold stone killer.
I know, right? So that was just a CC lock from Infamous from the land. So it's perfect whenever bosses can land a lot of damage in a short amount of time. So that CC, that time window, that time frame of the CC lock just obliterated the Kestrel. I mean, even though you can go invisible, it won't do you any good if you are disabled. So well played, especially combined with the Taka. They have the best scenario, the best kit for them to burst someone down and move on to the next target. So look at that, the Baron actually dashing in, Spaghetti!
Spaghetti does go in, but the heals comes out from SNK, and great bait mate. There is at least the usage of that Baron, or rather that Ardent Pit. Although not to full use, not to good use, and the Taka into the sidelines. He is just chasing him down, or rather clearing out the waves here for now. Spaghetti's going to be clearing out the waves for the moment, setting up a possible dive here under turret, and Taka's going to be looking forward for some action. He goes in aggressive onto the turret for the meantime, and they will break it down 4-0 for the meantime. And, well, my goodness, this does not look, well, that good at all from Silverboom. On the first game, they got a good amount of kills, I think like 4 or 6 to 3, and now it's not even any kills at all for them.
Yeah, it's Infamous knowing that they're just gonna keep going at it, not giving in to the pressure of the pokes coming from the side of Silverboom. So if they immediately strike, then no pokes are to be done, and that is just Silverboom onto the retreat, just forced to reply or respond to the aggression or to the dive in, especially coming from Taka or from Lance here. SNK and everybody else are just taking control of the jungle with Pain Sunday being forced to respond to this.
10 seconds to the gauntlet. Pain Sunday knows what is up, but they can't really go for the contest. Teammates were out of position, and I think in a way, they can't really set up on the jungle. It's just too many angles to work with, and you're not gonna really have a good time in that area because again, the Baron, even though he does have the mobility skills, was the Kestrel. Once they use that already, they will be sitting down in terms of the positioning, and they could be easily dove upon by, well, this Taka as well as the Lance. Lance will be set up. There is at least the Gauntlet to catch him off guard. And will he be able to go down? He survived the timing on that combat roll. My goodness, Infamous are just able to bait it out from Silverboom and still that much damage. Will escape with their lines. One shot, one kill, maybe for the Hail Mary pass. It won't connect.
Man, this is what we've mentioned earlier, how the team comp of Infamous can just go in, be aggressive, and then when things get a little bit too sticky and things that aren't and it's not working well out for them, then they can just immediately exit the fight. This is just a perfect setup for Infamous. And the bad thing and the sad thing about it is that Silverboom just cannot punish this enough when they go for these aggressive sort of plays. So Infamous just keeps getting away with it rather, as Silverboom does not have the necessary CC to actually punish them, because remember, they're going to be reliant on the Gauntlet from the Ardent to actually counter these aggressive plays. But when it doesn't connect, then there's nothing left for Infamous. It's just them trying to chase them down with the pokes, not really securing the fight.
Yeah, not just that. Didn't really talk about how, the Baron and the Kestrel would be more potent in the late game, and it shows. Like, you can see, even though Lance, of course, is going to be the tankiest member here for Infamous. If they had enough damage, they could have followed through and maybe gone for the chase, like you said. Although, there is that only one ultimate, or rather, that one engage ultimate with the Gauntlet, and right now, Silverboom are in a awkward situation wherein they want to go for the fight, they want to stop Infamous from taking their jungle, from taking their turrets, but they really can't go for it just yet, because even though Arden does go for that setup, it's not really going to be enough. And again, another gold miner will be taken here. Is it going to be meant to be out? I think it will. Oh, this season, not bad.
Yeah, that was the only objective that they could take off the map for now. But as Silverboom just waits for an opportunity for them to actually be aggressive, as they don't have the hard engage that we're looking for from their side. It's not like they have a Catherine. It's not like they have a Grace of some sort, or the Lance. But then it's just them waiting for a mistake, waiting for them to be aggressive, and then punish them as Infamous just keeps roaming around the map. No time for any poke whatsoever from Silver Boom, and that's a moving squad from Infamous that they keep keep doing, since it's one of those, it's a bit linear, if you will, for the side of Silver Boom, for them to execute their composition
So
well.
Infamous are actually taking the Sentry, if I'm not mistaken, that will, beef up these minions to push, and they are looking to just finish this game off. They have no more objectives around the map except for making kills on the Silver Boom, or at least breaking down turrets. And once again, Silver Boom have no answer just yet. You can see really Pain Sandy wants to go for an engage here with Lei King. Use that wombo combo. They have their ultimates already up and running, but still can't find the opening that they need.
Yeah, that is true. They don't have to do anything at the moment in this game, but just keep farming, keep leveling, and keep getting those items for them to spike till they can strike for the best opportunity
possible.
Yes.
That's true. But is it gonna be here? Because they gotta run away. The Baron is actually gonna be able to set up an ion cannon, but will it actually be there? That's not gonna be the case. Oh my goodness! Look at that. 2 range, 2 for the price of none, and it is just Arden left standing. He got the Vanguard, he got tankiness, but you know what? It's just Infamous who got that gankiness.
Gankiness?
Yes, yes, that is a
Alright,
word.
That is a word.
word.
I believe you asked. Anyway, for Infamous
But,
there,
yeah, but it's true, right?
it is true.
Yeah, they immediately blow up
Yeah.
the Baron as well as the Kestrel.
Again, this is the time where they say that, they have to poke out, and then that's the time they can be aggressive. But no, Infamous is not allowing for those type of plays. They're just gonna, once everybody just goes into the lane, everybody else from Silver Boom, and then Infamous will say, okay, this is the perfect time. We're not gonna allow them to poke. It'll just go in, and everything just works in their favor. So because they are confident that their kit is just enough to finish off these kills, and it was perfect timing on the turret as well. If you're gonna be a Lance and you're gonna go dive in, it's perfect because he'll just impale or combat roll in, and after that Gentian wall just stuns you, CC locks you there, and you're not able to do anything. As again, we've mentioned that the composition of Silver Boom is not the type to actually try and disengage, or whenever they go in, they're the type to keep poking there. In terms of options for win conditions, or how they're going to win a team fight or a skirmish or the whole game itself, it's a bit too minimal in comparison to what Infamous has.
Oh, this is it. Hail Mary pass for Silver Boom. If this Kraken goes into or gets taken by Infamous, it might be over. It might be GG. The momentum might be too much for, Silver Boom to handle. It's going to be a defensive gauntlet just for the meantime. But so bad, very bad. It's trying to go for at least the flank shot, or for the kite shots rather. But, oh no. From the backlines, look at the top line, just doing all the work. Lei King is going to be dethroned. Well, the King has now become the Jester. They made quick work of that Baron, and it should be easy Kraken for Infamous. Possible straight push into the lane, and a Vayne exposed, and that might be a 2-0. I really can't see too much of an opening here for, I believe, Silver Boom, to get back into the fight.
Yeah, I believe the analyst desk has already mentioned how there's minimal options for them. There's more. They're more of a poke type, team comp, and then punish mistakes. That's whenever they go in or try to. Whenever they go in for Infamous side. But then again, all Infamous has to do is keep pressuring them, keep going in for them, to not allow Silver Boom to breathe at all, and try to recover whenever they lose these team fights. So the gold lead is already 10,000. So itemization wise, they've got the upper hand in terms of damage, and the Kraken is going to be knocking on their door as Silver Boom tries to defend
On
turret.
to the knife's edge. Silver Boom is just standing on top of. They are on the tippy toe, on the brink of destruction. They are 0 points right now. They gotta fight till they drop, or else they will be on the bottom of the food chain. But because you know what? Top, they will show who is the real pedigree in this tournament. And yes, they take them down one after the other. The turrets are falling like dominoes. The Kraken is still alive and the Vayne is exposed. They're dealing a good chunk of damage, but still that Vayne is about to pop. Will it be? Yes, the final shot by the Kraken, and that's it. It's go, player. It's GG 2-0 by the Mists.
Man, the confidence in the draft every time I watch Infamous is just so amazing to look at. So again, they're very flexible in terms of hero pool and composition, and they really know how to play it well. And that's why Silver Boom definitely has a hard time finding these openings or weaknesses or cracks in the wall for them to actually try to counterattack or win them over. So again, congratulations for that 2-0 from Infamous, and Silver Boom, definitely learned a lot from these past 2 games against them.
Yeah, learning a lot indeed, but still, my goodness, 0 points. So we'll give it to Luxuria and Minimiter. What happened there, guys?
Well, hello. I think Minimiter is disconnected. I'm not sure.
No, I'm
but
here.
then,
I'm here.
all right, hello, welcome.
Hello.
Because you always do the introduction, so it was kind of awkward for me to come back in. But yeah, go ahead, start the point.
Well, I think the Infamous's win condition was so much easier to pull off than Silver Boom's, because Infamous, all they had to do was dive on, get a little bit of vision on Kestrel, dive on top of Kestrel, and Kestrel would fall. And then they just turn attention to Baron, and Baron's glass cannon, so he's going to go pretty quickly as well. Whereas if Silver Boom wanted to win, they'd have to try and outpoke Taku and Vox, try and hope that Infamous don't engage. They just wait for Kestrel to get some poke, and then Baron jumps in to secure kills. But again, if he doesn't secure the kills with that, he's too squishy and he's going to fall immediately. I think Uni played so well on the Taka in this match. He had quite a lot. They had a lot of vision control. SNK managing to generally win that because they had the map control, so they won the vision war. And Uni managed to dodge so many glimmer shots and active camo traps from Kestrel that just meant very bad couldn't get damage onto Taka because Taka kept either dodging it with his chitin or just dodging it by walking around.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the players coming out from Uni was just insane. There was so many times I was like, oh, are you going to jump the turret? Oh, you are going to jump. Oh, you actually took like Pain Sunday or someone down. So although I was in the back lines, I was on the desk, I was watching the game and not casting for it, I was equally as excited as the casters is doing it. It's quite an interesting game to watch, honestly, because like I said earlier on, the damage coming out from the side of Silver Boom was so insane in the late game. But then Infamous had what it takes to actually just go in the early game and just capitalize on this particular mistakes, this particular weakness of Team Silver Boom, and they did that perfectly. So here you go. So Infamous is starting and still at the top. I really hope that Silver Boom actually would win like 1 or 2 matches against that of Infamous. And there were times that it really looked like Silver Boom had it, but it is almost as if they couldn't pull the team come together, or it's just a psychological factor that pulled them down at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was